everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Joe Tyler Reefing in my Waterbox 30.2. And today I'm just going to do a walkthrough to show you exactly what I'm doing and what I have running on my tank and some of the products that I'm using. And as you can see, my corals and my fish are doing fantastic. I'm using the Aqua Forest Reef Salt at 35 parts per thousand, and everything's doing great. My tank is a LPS dominant tank, and as you can see, I have my hammer coral right there. It's out doing great. I have a Favia, Season Greetings Montipora. I have some Digitata at the top. I have my Zoa Garden. I have a Leptostraya back there encrusting. I have a red Blasto, some more Favia, hairy mushroom. There's a plate coral to your left. Right there are some trachees. There's a Cyphostraya. It's encrusting. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bleeding apple scully. I have a platy right there. And then there's some button scullies with some echinatas and a mushroom right there. I have some more mushrooms right there. So I'm running the Radion XR15. If you're interested in my light schedule, hit me up in the comments. I'll be glad to provide that to you. I used a par meter to dial it in, and I will post the par readings right now. Over here, I'm running a CAD Lights PLS 50 Elite 2 skimmer. And I love this skimmer so much. It does a great job at pulling all the unwanted organics out of my tank. I also am running an ice cap CO2 scrubber that is recirculating through my skimmer. My pH is roughly between 7.98 to 8.2. And this media lasts me about a month in there, and I just change it out. I barely see the stuff turn purple, but that is the ice cap CO2 media. I just change it out for good measure. I'm also running the in-tank filter floss holders. They clip on right here, and then I'm using the in-tank filter floss. Back in the middle chamber, I'm running my E-Coral temp probe and pH probe along with an XP Aqua Duetto. You can see the sensor right there in the bottom. It's to the left of my probes. I'm also running two innovative marine media reactors, and these are the desktop size. Now in this one, I'm running nothing in it right now. And in this one, I am running just some carbon. And then if we go over to this side, I have the Aqua Ultraviolet 15 watt hang on back UV sterilizer right here. That's being powered by a CJ 1.0 return pump. And then here's my flipper algae scrubber right here. Love this thing. I just keep it right here to the side so it's not in my tank. I have the AI Nero 5 running. I'll also provide that schedule if you would like it. Just message me. That is a Kraken Reef Nem Guard along with the Kraken Reef feeder cup and the Kraken Reef lid. So love that product, or love his products. His name's Joshua, hit him up. I was running the overflow screens. They had the UV orange, but I took them out just because they restricted the flow a little bit. Now, underneath the cabinet, there is my E-Coral controller. with the power bars. I have everything connected to it. My Mighty Jet is running at 14 watts. And that is the mid-size version in the middle chamber. That is my return pump. And then some of the products that I'm using are the ABEV. This is the Aqua ABEV. This right here is just broadcast feeding every other day. There's the Build, and then you have the Vitality. This is the Amino Mix, and then this is the Energy. I also dose some Phyto every other day. That's Aqua as well. I use the Aqua BioS with every water change. This is just 1 drop for 27 gallons, and that is roughly what my water volume is with everything I have in my tank. I'm using some Easy Reefs LPS pellets along with, this is some Reefroids right here. These two products I spot feed along with the Brightwell Aquatics Coral Aminos. And then back here, I also spot feed Reef Snow. This is the Coral Color. And this right here is the Restore. So what I do is I mix all 3 of these together with the Coral Amino, LPS pellets, and the Reefroids. And then I add some tank water, and then I use my coral feeder and spot feed the corals, and they are doing fantastic. Some of the fish food that I'm using as far as the dry, this is some Easy Reef DKI Marine. I'm using Omega-1 Marine mini pellets. And then I also have some Piscine PE pellets. This is the Mysis. And then one of the things I'm not using right now is this Alpha Reef. I don't need to dose my tank right now, but I just picked it up because I had some points and it seems to always be out of stock. But once my corals start growing bigger, I know I'm gonna need a dose at some point. So that is what I'm going to use. Let's go over to my frozen foods here. Now I use V2O foods right here. Let me see if I can focus that for you. This is the Reef and Coral combo. I also use the mini Mysis shrimp, and then this right here is Reef Caviar. And what I'll do is I'll mix all 3 of these up together, and I put them in this container, and I mix it with some Celcon and some garlic power right there. Fish go absolutely nuts. So what I try to do is I give them a variety of foods to eat. There's some more. That's some Reef Frenzy Nano right there. That way my fish are healthy, and I know they're getting a variety in their diet. So I have 2 Black Storm Clowns in my 30.2, and there's also 3 Pajama Cardinals in there. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is there's my Trigger Systems ATO reservoir. This is 5 gallons. This thing lasts forever. I would say at least 2 weeks, if not more. I do fill it up with every water change. I do 10 gallons of water every week. So to clean my glass, I use this Brazilian, I don't even know, Brilliance right there. Even though it says plastic cleaner on there, just so you know it's good for glass, this is what I use to clean my aquarium, the outside of the glass, and this stuff is awesome. I've been using that for a while now. I also have the Kraken Reef's Reef glasses right there. Those make your corals pop. And then I'm still waiting on the eCoral salinity module, which is gonna go right there to the left. So still waiting on that. They said it's coming soon, but due to COVID, they haven't released it yet. Now, as far as what I use for taking pictures and videos, I'm using the Orphic Reef Aquarium Lens Kit here. I actually have it on my phone right now, but it comes with 4 lenses and the clip-on, which attaches to your phone. So that's the aquarium. Now, if we go over here, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment, so having storage is awesome. Before we get into that, I know it's dark in here. Here's my Rody unit. I have just hooked right up to my cold water for the washing machine, and I just have it split off right there. So I'm using a 7-stage Rody unit. That part is, the top part is Marine Depot. That part is BRS right there. And we'll go this way. Now, I said I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. Having these cubes are awesome for storage. Here is all of my test kits. I use Salifert. I got this Aqua Forest magnesium test kit. All the other ones are Hannah, and I'm waiting on the nitrate right now. So just to give you some numbers, my alkalinity is running around 7.8. My pH is anywhere from 7.98 to 8.2, depending on the time of day. I'm also running about 449 on my calcium. And then my magnesium, believe it or not, is like 1,500 parts per million. So that is the Aqua Forest. They want you to mix it up to 33 parts per thousand, but I mix it up to 35 parts per thousand. So I know that's a little high, but you know, one of the things I'm not really battling are any algae issues. And I know some people claim that if you run your magnesium a little higher, you will not have algae or as much algae. So that's my test kit drawer. I also have some Aptasia X. I use this every once in a while when I see some Aptasia pop up. And then if we go into our office here, I have some more cube storage, as you can see. So in here, I have some bulk reef supply, GFO. Don't use this, it's too fine. I use this Puralock right here, Pura Phoslock. That stuff is awesome, but right now I'm not using it. My phosphates are 0.018, and my nitrate is hovering anywhere between 2 and 5 parts per million right now. So like I said, the only thing I'm running is carbon and my UV sterilizer. I also this is the carbon I use. This is Red Seas Reef Spec carbon. This stuff is great, but I also have some bulk reef supply Rocks 0.8 carbon. I haven't used this stuff, but everyone swears by it. And then I am using this pump clean right here, the Seche pump clean. I've only used it once so far. It is awesome. I love that stuff. And then I have this little mini ultrasonic down here to clean my cuvettes for my Hannah checkers. And I just use a little bit of cleaning vinegar in there with some Rody water. And I put them in there for maybe like 15 minutes. And then I just put them on a drying rack and let them dry. As far as my coral dips, I have Coral RX and Revive right here. And then if you're wanting to know what this is the Tropic Marin Original Balling B. This will raise alkalinity if I ever need to. Haven't even touched this stuff yet. And then I keep all my boxes. So, you know, here's my Radion box. Here's just a couple of filter socks along with 2 1-gallon buckets. Don't really use those much. Those are my 10-gallon Brute trash cans. So one I use for freshly mixed salt water. The other I used for my wastewater that I take out of the aquarium. And that way I can just match them up and I know exactly how much to put in. One of the cool things about, or I just want to show you one of the cool products that I use. This is a pump that sucks from the bottom, so it only leaves about 3/4 of an inch of water in there. And this is, if you go to Amazon and search for FS2000, and if you see this green pump, I think it's like $13 or $14. Great product. And I use the Python hose to connect to it to add the freshly mixed salt water back to my tank. I have my coral feeder right here. I have a JBJ. These are some tongs, so if I need to grab something out of the tank, I don't have to put my hands in it. I showed you that all for Reef, so I ended up making some dosing containers right here using 1/4-inch acrylic, 1/4-inch RO bulkhead, and this, I have a Camor X1 Pro, and these are the Camor nipples right here. So as soon as I start dosing, I'm gonna use that Camor doser, and I'll give you a review on that. But here's the, I think this is called a Hygar. This is some aquarium cleaning products for the inside of my aquarium. The one that I use the most are these 2 sponges, and then I put it together and clean the inside of the aquarium. I just have a bunch of stuff in here. These are some extra parts. I have my filter floss in here, some extra sponges, RO tubing, 1/2-inch vinyl tubing, you name it, it's in here. Hey, calm down, little one. My cat, she's always here. I know if you watch my videos, you always see her. Her name's Pearl. There's my Aqua Forest salt. One thing is when they ship it, for whatever reason, the bucket always comes cracked, so you can't use it. But I keep my salt in those 2 buckets right there. And then for my wife's tank, that is for her water changes. She has a 10-gallon Waterbox cube, and she keeps a beta in there. So I'll show you that. So let's go out here. Give you one last look at the tank. We have our Christmas tree on because we're crazy. So you can see that in the reflection, but tank is doing really, really well. Now, if we go into the bedroom, this is my wife's Waterbox Cube 10. We have live plants in there. We have the Kraken Reef feeder cup and the overflow screen. So that's what the overflow screens look like from them and their lid. And then some of the products that we're using for this fresh water is the Aqua Forest Micro and Macro for plants. We have the API Stress Coat and the Quick Start. So every water change we add, I want to say like 2 to 5 milliliters of that stuff. We have the API Freshwater Test Kit. I use Rhody water, but then I remineralize the water with this Aqua Forest mineral salt just to add all the essential elements to the water. And yeah, some nets and some cleaning products in their food. And then this is kind of a mess, but this is the setup, so we can just switch off any of the products that we're using. So I'll go through those real quick. We're using the XP Aqua Duetto in this tank, an Aqueon heater that is the preset 78-degree one. And then I have a green killing machine 3 watt. And funny is I took my AI Prime Reef 16 HD and I set it up with a, hopefully it's obviously working, but this is a schedule that I found online for freshwater plants. So it's got really high red, green, it's got some blue, some high whites, and I don't think no UV or any royal or anything like that. But eventually I do want to get the freshwater AI Prime for my wife's tank, but this is working fantastic. So she's got the little flipper Nano right there. And one thing I forgot to mention on my tank, I am running the Cobalt Aquatics Neotherm heater, and that is the 150 watt one. I don't think you will be able to see it in here. It gets pretty dark, but it is in this second chamber. So yeah, I just wanted to show you what I'm using, some of the products that I have going, what I am using on my tank as far as media. I'm only using carbon. You know, I took off my Kato reactor. I took off the bio pellet reactor because I slowly started seeing my nitrates and my phosphates decline, and my corals were not fully open. They were losing some colors. So I ended up taking those off, and I'm just running that carbon and that UV sterilizer. So one thing I've learned, just test your water, keep an eye on your coral. You're gonna know your tank more than anybody else. So just keep an eye on that, because your corals do need phosphates and nitrates. So please like my video, subscribe to my channel. I'd really, really appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.